Tails is not a real character. That's not how that would go. Belle should know fully well that's 10 out of 10 world building IDW. Incredible work, guys. F you, Charmy. And f you too, Chaotix, for keeping him around. For like, what? The 8th time or something? Meaning the Chaotix somehow completely missed Starline, Surge, and Kit. What the f?
Shall we begin? I grant you audience.
What is happening, cronies and bronies? My name is KotyTang. Comic time. Please, no spoilers. Shh, quiet. Issue 48! Vector and Espio make a drive over to the KTBR radio station in the early hours of the morning to pick up Charmy from his pseudo daycare. Charmy's apparently been taking calls, choosing songs, and fixing people's problems. Knight says he's a natural, but I highly doubt that. Espio says the reason they left him here all night was because they were returning library books? Some library is still open and busy enough to make customers stay all night just to return books? That's gotta be the most active library in the world! Vector is informed by Knight that he got a few calls during the show over the night from Central City about some problems that the Chaotix should look into. Espio looks over the report, noting various electrical problems, to which he comments that it looks like people were dealing with a bad thunderstorm rather than a crime. It's evidently a problem that, no police have decided to show up for as well. Vector pulls his car to the side of the road because he's not missing yet another case like he did for the Zeddy hunt, and he tells Charmy to fly them out of there? Wait, what? That isn't just a gameplay mechanic? Charmy is actually that strong? The Chaotix arrive on the scene to see absolute chaos with somebody mentioning a power surge. Jesus, IDW. The arguing gets the team nowhere until a crazy old man comes in talking about mutant crocodiles from the sewer. Now I get describing the mutant being a crocodile, you need a proper description of a suspect, but why he gotta bring up the fact that Charmy's a bee? That seems a bit racially charged. The Chaotix head down the sewer and they see the damage caused by a certain currently unknown water fox until they spot, hey! Well, ain't it so nice to see Ruff and Tumble again? It's the IDW characters nobody remembers. The Chaotix chase Ruff into one of the passages, but they're immediately halted by skunk spray. The spray forces the Chaotix to dip out of there, but Charmy points out that the mysterious individual broke their box in their escape. The gang pops it open, revealing a bunch of scrap metal, specifically the badnik kind, and it's revealed to have come from the central shipping yard. When they arrive, they don't see anything odd, but they catch a whiff of a scent, which must be the trail. Following the scent, they arrive at a boarded up building where Charmy attempts to yell at the building. He's a damn idiot. You, Charmy. Espio uses his invisibility to infiltrate the building after hearing voices, and we're finally met with a familiar face. Clutch the opossum, scolding Ruff and Tumble for losing his only route for moving his cargo. Clutch has no way out of the city due to the place being caught in a strange phenomenon. Alright, listen, y'all. That wasn't just Ruff and Tumble they were smelling earlier. It was mostly from Clutch. Even Rouge notes how stank-ass that dude is. Espio accidentally makes a noise while trying to peek over the guardrail, a thing that he really didn't have to do, which prompts Clutch to shoot that motherfucker. Bro, that's the coldest shit I've ever seen in IDW. What the hell? This dude is gangsters. A fight begins, but it's cut short thanks to Espio interrogating Clutch, you Charmy, discovering he had nothing to do with the state of the city. My god, Tumble was punching the shit out of Vector. Clutch then explains his entire plan to bring his cargo around and rebuild his empire 2 feet in front of the Chaotix, like a complete-ass moron, prompting Vector to, of course, smash all of his shit as he, Jesus, breaks the entire ground and sends all of Clutch's inventory into the water below. That is some power, dude. What the hell? Espio decides that he's not the Restoration, so he will in fact take Clutch prisoner. But Clutch managed to steal some smoke bombs from Espio, somehow, so he uses those to get away. Oh, okay. So am I to believe that if SPO uses his smoke bombs, he'll be able to run through them and see clearly, but if somebody else uses them, SPO can no longer see through them, but they can? Very odd properties, these smoke bombs. I've always disliked when things do that. Having failed, the Chaotix can do nothing else but continue to wonder what truly went on in the city. Also, this smoke was not here before. You'd imagine the Chaotix would have seen that, given the state of the city at the beginning of the comic, but, oh well. For continuity check, the time of day is entirely incorrect for Surge, Kid, and Starline's attack on Central City. Surge didn't start blasting through Central City until it was at least nearly noon. So for Night the Owl to already have multiple calls from Central City just doesn't make any sense. They would have had to preemptively know that Starline was going to attack the city for that to happen. The alternative to this is to say that something other than Surge and Kid attacked the city long before they would have shown up, which evidently isn't true, because in Imposter Syndrome, we see Surge talking about how the people are all acting like they don't have a care in the world and she's going to ruin that. Moving on, are the Chaotix like the only police force in this entire region or something? Well, no. That can't be the case, because in the annual 2020, Knight literally asks a citizen why they aren't calling the police. That short was also written by Evan Stanley. If the police force doesn't work, I think the Chaotix should be looking into that. And what happened to the riot dudes that protect Sunset City last time? Did they all just disband? Were they truly just a force brought in by Shadow and Rouge after all? Why are the Chaotix the only people who can deal with this case? And more importantly, why the hell is Central City sending all of their problems to Night the Owl? Some random dude running an overnight radio station. What the hell kind of logic is that, bro? Did Sunset City's entire order of government just completely shatter to the point that only an old radio station and a detective agency that's in a city miles over are their only sources of assistance? At the start of this comic, there's this poorly thought out joke from IDW, which can only be a lie that SPO tells Don. There's no way Vector and SPO spend all night returning library books. And why the hell would they be borrowing library books from all the way in Sunset City? I guess Seaside City didn't have the books they needed? Or is it actually that there's only one single library available in this whole region? Kinda like how there's only one radio station in this entire region. Isn't it also convenient that the only help Sunset City has happens to be returning library books in the city all night and left Charmy at a radio station? Actually, that wouldn't even make sense. The traffic of Sunset City is jammed up, leading all the way out of the city even. Is it possible that what IDW is actually trying to say is that last night SPO and Vector drove all the way to Sunset City to drop off Charmy, then drove all the way back to Seaside City to return their books, and then drove all the way back to Sunset City to go and get Charmy, where they are then told that Central City has a ton of problems right now. The most gracious thing I can grant IDW is that the Chaotix happen to have been in a very, very less populated side of the city. Maybe a completely out-of-place residential area with a local library. But at the same time, we get this shot at the end of the issue where the city has multiple heavy smoke points that just simply aren't present in the opening shot, where Vector is informed of all the problems. You can even see how bad the traffic is at the end of this comic. Every single visible road is loaded with cars, even the ones barely off screen. And it's not like a new thing that developed over time. The Chaotix had to drive off to the side of the road and personally fly into the city because the traffic was already that bad. That was just at the beginning of the day. They didn't even make it into the city limits before they just said screw it. Starline's team successfully halted all operations in this city, not just a couple areas. There is no possible way the Chaotix just wouldn't have seen this, or would have been able to navigate through this. The only other place that would have been mostly unbothered would have been where Starline was, meaning the Chaotix somehow completely missed Starline, Surge, and Kit, and not only that, all of this chaos that Surge and Kit caused would have gone completely unnoticed by Vector and SPO somehow. It would only make sense that the library they're talking about was in Seaside City, and they for no reason at all drove drove all the way to Sunset City to drop off Charmy to create this extremely contrived moment. 10 out of 10 world building, IDW. Incredible work, guys. Y'all leave so much up to speculation, you may as well just have the audience build the world for you, as you just pop characters into random places. Oh wait, you already do that. What a huge pack of contrivances just to make this moment with Clutch happen. Hey, also, can Charmy f*** off? Sega had better make the most banger backstory ever for why Vector is literally this kid's dad. Charmy's the most useless member of the Chaotix, as he literally is a child. Imagine for a moment being a random civilian that gets these detectives to do a job for you. Your kids are found, but they're dead. And it's up to f***ing Charmy to break this terrible news to you. And on top of that, he accidentally destroyed the crime scene, and now they can't find any evidence for who killed your kids. Meanwhile, Vector is in the background shouting that he made Charmy by himself come tell you because he has to say he's sorry as they're teaching him proper manners. F*** you, Charmy. And f*** you too, Chaotix, for keeping him around. What detective sees a supposedly abandoned place and then shouts, "Is anybody home?" Fuck me, what if there was a situation where they had hostages in there? Charmy just got every one of them executed. Also, I'ma just point out that Charmy is now canonically ridiculously strong. Because, what the hell is going on here? He can actually carry both Vector and Espio at the same time? You know you're not actually supposed to incorporate shit like that into the story, right? Finally, in this issue, we learn that Clutch was, in fact, not the owner of the chateau. In fact, his place is now taken away from him. So, again, I have to ask, who did run that place then? They just had no idea that Clutch was doing any of that up there? I had to assume it was some kind of villain lair disguised as a chow race based on how the story played out. How the hell did he turn his penthouse into a giant stockpile of badniks and nobody had any idea about it? Also, why did Clutch lose the penthouse? Did somebody actually kick him out of there and he had to haul his crap out the door? Is there an entire storyline with Clutch that's just been omitted from the series? Can I get some backstory on that, please? As for Clutch's reintroduction, him blasting at a noise was dope, but he immediately turns out to be yet another massive idiot villain as well? Is this our next big bad? Starline's gonna take a break and we follow Clutch, the mobster who thinks it's smart to reveal every single possible plan they have going forward? Great. Bright futures ahead for IDW. Issue 49. Belle, Tails, and Sonic are all working on a new broadcast which utilizes Motobud's ability to be a good badnik, in the hopes that they can turn other badniks in Eggman's empire into good guys. After launching the broadcast, it seems to be a rousing success as the badniks all ignore both Sonic and Tails. Belle's excitement is cut short by Tails reminding her that Eggman always has a new plan brewing, and at the very least, somebody is acting for him right now, given the forest fire and electrical haywire in Central City. Sonic decides to pack it up for the day to get some lunch, in which Sonic says he wants tacos? Wait, hold up. Sonic the taco-loving hedgehog? I'm gonna need some official art with Sonic eating tacos. Later that night, Sonic is woken up to the sound of Motobud scratching on the door. After investigating, Motobud turns on Sonic, resulting in Tails waking up, and then Belle walks out of her room, clearly in a trance. You know, Belle doesn't really have to sleep. So I wonder why she needed a room at all and had Sonic sleeping on the couch. What would Belle's sleeping even look like? Tails figures out that Motobud and Belle are under some sort of control signal, given the bright purplish pink light shining through their eyes. Belle now turns on Tails with Sonic jumping in to block her attack. Tails rushes to find something to possibly help, while Sonic deals with both Belle and Motobud. Sonic fails to get any answers about what's going on from Belle, and just as she's about to slice Sonic up, Tails manages to save him and disengages the control signal from Belle with the prototype to the Zeddy Zapper. Lucky for Tails, he just has the prototype in this workshop instead of the one in Central City, which is where he was actually shown to be working on both the Zeddy Zapper and Zeddy Launcher originally. With Belle back to normal, she explains that she was controlled by a beacon going out to all badniks. As far as she knows, every single badnik ever was just summoned, and now Belle is pissed and ready to kick some ass. I wonder wonder if Belle's okay after what Starline did. Something seems off with her, am I right? Belle states that the coordinates came from quite a distance in the south, and since they still have Motobud, Sonic suggests that they follow him and see where he goes. Along the way, they come into contact with a delivery truck and... Bro? This chick has a Wisp-On? How much do these things cost? Are we really able to just casually purchase and use military-grade weapons? The gang is able to save the delivery people, ordering them to take shelter back at Tails' workshop, while the heroes all continue to follow the Badniks for a few hours until they reach some woods that Sonic's apparently been to a few times, stating that there's nothing out there. So Tails flies up and sees an entire f***ing city? Well damn, Sonic, you sure did a shit-ass job of checking if you somehow managed to miss this enormous base that just happens to be Eggman's major base, if not just one of them. I'd imagine this thing wasn't made in a day. When was the last time he checked over here? Tails flies down, informing the crew of what he saw up there, and Belle tries to stop Motobud from going any further, but he just won't quit driving forward. Belle decides to cut Motobud's main power, to which Sonic asks if that's gonna kill him, and Belle is all, I don't know, but I won't let Eggman have him, which in actual context, that's pretty, dark. I'ma kill you so Eggman won't have you? Okay, Belle. Belle tinkering with Motobud angers the other Badniks apparently, and they begin to turn on the gang. But once Belle snaps the line, apparently the Badniks stop trying to attack everyone? What? Why would that happen? Am I missing something there? Belle catches eyes with a note hidden inside a Motobud, which is revealed to be from Mr. Tinker, sending his final goodbye to her, hoping the letter will someday reach her. Belle finally realizes that Mr. Tinker is gone for good. For like, what, the 8th time or something? Jeez. Is this just gonna be her character forever? Sonic tries to make Belle feel better by reminding her that she has the memories of him and friends that really care about her now. So all they can do is move forward. Let's not forget that Sonic was perfectly fine with killing Belle before and leaving her back at Eggman's base, but I guess that's neither here nor there, right? With all that said and done, Sonic grabs onto Belle and Tails, and the three rush away to Eggman's new capital city. Hey, I need to tell you guys something real quick.
Let me tell you something! Let me tell you something!
Be sure to leave a like if you've been enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure your notifications are on so that you'll be notified every single time I drop, right into your feed. Leave a comment below about what you think so far, and maybe we can have a lovely conversation. Or not. Now back to the video. What the f***? Tails' device can also knock Belle out of her mind control as well? What else can the Zeddy Zapper do, bro? Tails is not a real character. Who the f*** is this guy? Also, Starline being able to control the Badniks en masse, as well as send the signal out to a wide range of Badniks, would mean that at any moment in time, Eggman himself can not only bring Belle back to him whenever he wants, but it would also most likely mean that he can summon Omega back whenever he wants to. Actually, that also means that there's no reason Tails and Belle's plan to change all the Badniks to good robots would work either. I guess we're supposed to just assume that Starline's override code has an embedded worship and be loyal to Starline switch inside of it as well. Otherwise, I have no reason to believe that Eggman can't do exactly what Starline is doing right now. Also, Belle would actually know that it was Starline that's calling the Badniks. Orbot and Cubot were completely subservient to Starline to the point that they knew to keep Eggman where he was. All of these Badniks also know to serve Starline, not Eggman. They all recognize Starline as their leader. That was literally the whole point of what they were doing. All the Badniks have given their allegiance to Starline. Are you trying to tell me that Belle would have arrived at the base and been like, "Where's Eggman?" Yeah, no, that's not how that would go. Belle should know fully well that Starline is the one calling everyone. As for the city, what is happening? Is there any reason at all as to why we just simply cannot get out of this region? Are the writers at IDW not allowed to leave this little playground area that they've crafted or something? Why the hell is Eggman launching a city south of everything up north? Clearly Cream's map is completely unreliable because according to that map, south only leads you to the sea. But if they've been running for hours, then apparently there is not a sea down there, and they sure as hell didn't run across the water. That's a lot of sea to be swimming through in order to track Motobud trying to drive through the seabed. This thing is the size of a whole city. Tails flew all the way above the clouds to get a full view of this thing. Which, might I add, what an impressive height Tails has just flown to. I mean, I guess it's not outside of the realm of possibility, but am I supposed to just accept that Tails can fly all the way up there like that? How long did it even take him to get up there? And again, Sonic, when was the last time you've been this far south, my boy? You missed this entire city's construction somehow? You know what? I'm gonna actually give a little bit of praise to IDW real quick for this Motobud scene with Belle. As contrived as it may be, what a crazy callback. If we go all the way back to issue 12, we can literally see Mr. Tinker working on Motobud. Oh my god. I just realized this. Motobud made a Sonic head back in issue 45. Can I just say that whoever carved out this Sonic head into this bush is quite the artist. And he made one while he was being worked on by Mr. Tinker too. Holy shit, bro! That's the same Badnik! We saw this guy already! Now, I highly doubt that IDW planned this to happen this way, seeing as how Belle didn't exist in this world until this saga we're on now, but that's still such a great connection. Good on the IDW team for using something seemingly so irrelevant and bringing it back to create this moment here. Now, if only they could have that level of connection and consistency present in the regular continuity as well. Okay guys, it's about that time. Issue 50 will be the next video. The single issue I've heard so much about since I began this comic. The issue that divided all of the fans, and now everyone has turned on IDW. We'll get to truly see if it's actually as bad as people say, or maybe it's not actually that bad, and people are just over-exaggerating, as they've done many times as I've gone through this comic. I guess we'll be finding out soon, huh? Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Eggman Empire Discord, okay, bye!